Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Troller. 1972 to 1975.
Game 242, Cardinals at Pirates.
Welcome back, baseball fans of 1972-75 Carryover League. We have a series of the National League today between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is the Pirates' year to defend their title from 71. In 72, traditionally, they had the best record in baseball, but did not go to the World Series. Cardinals were out in the desert, figuring out what to do for the next decade. Didn't really find much success in the 70s at all until early 80s with Whitey Ball and Ozzie and Lonnie show up and so forth. But until then, it's going to be a tough slog for these Cardinals. Though, we must say, preface this remark, they are a very talented baseball club. They have really put together a nice roster, but the odds are stacked against them. Game one, let's get started in St. Louis. Alan Foster, a Cardinal farmhand, signed by the Pirates out of the waivers. Pitching for the Pirates is their number 4. Against Sonny Siebert, somebody the Cardinals got from Boston in the Rick Wise, Reggie Smith moves. In this one, the Pirates, top of the first. 3 singles and a sac fly. They have a 2-0 lead right out of the gate. World champs. But in the bottom of the first, you got to watch what happens here. Lou Brock singles, steals a base. New designated hitter batting second, Jim Hart, who's been on the pine most of the year. Former Giant, former Yankee. Right-handed bat this team needs. RBI single. McBride reaches on a double. And then Reggie Smith, 3-run homer. 4 batters, 4 runs. But the Pirates come right back in the second inning. Walk single, RBI double by Hebner. Game's tied at 4. Into the 5th. Solo homer Willie Stargell, 5-4 Pirates. But then something interesting happens. In the 8th, it's deja vu. Similar scenario. Lou Brock walks, steals a base. Jim Hart singles him in. Babe McBride reaches the base with a single. And then Reggie Smith again with a 3-run homer. Same scenarios. 4 men get on and reach. A stolen base, an RBI single, and a 3-run homer. And that's all the Cardinals need to hold on to this one. In the 9th inning, Al Hrabowski makes it interesting, puts 2 men on, strikes out Clemente, and he strikes out the Mad Hungarian, strikes out Stargell, pounds his glove, does all that theatrics on the mound to pump up the Cardinal crowd. The Cardinals win game 1, 8-5. They desperately needed this to chase the Pirates in this division, just to stick around and see how long they can stay afloat in this tough division. Oh boy, folks. Oh boy. Number 2, game 2. It's Jim Rooker for the Pirates at Bob Gibson and the Cardinals. And this is disappointing. Gibson, 2 uneventful innings, then a single to Clemente, a 2-run homer by Oliver. The Cardinals respond in the 3rd. They bat around off of Rooker. They have 1, 2, 3 walks. There's a double in there. There's a Manny Sanguian error in there. It's a 3-2 game, but in the 5th, it's 3-3 when after an out, a walk, a K, and a single, Willie Stargell, 3-run homer off of Bob Gibson, makes this a 6-3 game. That's just too many runs for Gibson to give up, really. He needs to do better, particularly in these head-to-head matchups with the Pirates. He does not. In the 9th inning, he's pulled. Bob Forsch, the young rookie, comes in, gives up a run in the 9th. Pirates win game 2, 7-3. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to swallow for the Cardinals. They won game 1, but couldn't follow it up with another victory, and that hurts. So now they got to go to Three Rivers after losing home field. Already up against the wall. Game number 3. The heartbreak will continue. John Curtis for the Cards versus Bob Moose. Pitchers duel early. Again, Lou Brock is challenging the -3 arm of Manny Sanguillen, and he's winning enough battles. He's got caught once. He's got like 3 out of 4 steals off the -3 arm catcher. In this particular instance, Sanguillen throws the ball into center field, so Brock scores on a ground ball. Bottom of the 4th inning, after 2 outs, this is going to kill you. A single by Oliver, but then an RBI double by Frank Taveras, and the game is tied at 1. A real head scratcher. Bottom of the 7th, Curtis and Moose still in there. Curtis in the bottom half, a single by Taveras. After a ground out, it is an RBI single by Roberto Clemente, and Cardinal fans are thinking, why'd you leave Curtis in there to face Clemente? So, well, because Curtis pitching a heck of a game, and look, he's out pitching Bob freaking Gibson, for Pete's sakes. So yeah, it's Roberto Clemente. I mean, it's things like that happen. Why not score more runs, St. Louis? And they do. It's 2-1 in the 9th. And the Pirates, to a cascade of boos, bring in disgruntled reliever Ramon Hernandez. Actually, stick a pin in that. He comes on the 10th. Moose still in there in the 9th. It's a double by Reggie Smith, a foul out, an RBI single by Joe Torre to tie the game. Moose finishes the inning after hitting his point of weakness. Leaves after 9 innings, 9 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. It's a 2-2 affair. Top of the 10th. This is where the cascade of boos come down, because Ramon Hernandez, the lefty part of the platoon closers with Dave Justy, enters the game with a 12.30 earned run average. He has been horrible this year. 10 innings, 14 runs allowed. In this inning, however, Lou Brock reaches on an error by Frank Taveras. Not a lot Hernandez can do. Then Brock's caught stealing. Cardinals are trying everything they could possibly do to take a win here, and it doesn't work. You get a walk, a couple outs, and the inning is over. Bob Forsch is in relief again. Clemente gets out. Richie Hebner doubles. And then Richie Zisk, 1973 rookie, RBI single, and the Pirates walk off in 10 innings, 3-2. Game number 4. It is going to be Scipio Spinks for the Cardinals, John Candelaria, who's had a really rough year for the Pirates, until today. Bottom of the 1st, the Pirates come out blazing again. They want to go up 3-1 in this series. Single, 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 and a 2-run double Willie Stargell, 3-zip. Cardinals respond in the 3rd, RBI double by Brock, it's 3-1. Cardinals again in the 6th inning. McBride singles, scores on a Reggie Smith double, it's 3-2. But Spinks is taken out after 6 innings because he's got a questionable card. If you recall, we left Curtis in there. We're taking Spinks out. It just doesn't seem to matter with the Cardinals. Their bullpen just implodes in the 7th and 8th innings. Steve Barber, really tough lefty, can't get the lefties out. Gives up 4 hits and 3 runs, as does Chuck Taylor. That's 6 runs on 8 hits for the Pirates in these 2 frames. Just devastating the Cardinals. Yet even after that, the Cardinals attempt a miraculous comeback in the 9th. It's a 9-2 game, and this thing is wrapped up until Bruce Keeson decides to make this thing interesting by letting the first 5 batters reach in the 9th inning. However, Joe Torre, the tie run, flies out to end the game, and the Pirates win 9-6. Just brutal. Just to even have a comeback in the 9th inning that falls short, added on to insult to injury. For the Cardinals, it just seems like the Pirates were just toying with the Cardinals after losing Game 1. Ripping off 3 straight wins. It is just so hard for the Cardinals in this timeline. It really is. And they have a really nice roster, but the competition is just better. Nothing you can do. Overall standings, we have to take a look at this now. In this division, which has been up for grabs for some time. And you see that the Cubs have had a really nice start to the dismay of the Reds and Pirates. And the Reds and Pirates have kind of righted their ships accordingly. It's a toss-up. And you see that the Cardinals, they are now playing the role of spoiler. They're not mathematically eliminated, of course, folks, but the odds are, the idea of getting past 3 of these teams, 2 of these teams, 1 of these teams to sneak in as a wild card is still probably remote. And these 3 teams, if they all want to make the playoffs, they can't be losing games to the Cardinals. Their division is only a game over 500. Matter of fact, this division's 3 over, and that's game under. That division is, the National League is +3. In the American League, the Mountain Midwest is +4, the West is +3. So, it's going to be very difficult for the Cardinals. And we have, in Pittsburgh, we got a Game 5. And the matchup is Sonny Siebert for the Cardinals in 72, 12-12 with a 381 ERA, 196 innings. For the Red Sox, he eventually gets traded to the Cardinals. Jim Rooker in 74, 15-11, 277 and 263 innings. Sonny Siebert, Jim Rooker from Pittsburgh. Let's get started. Can the Cardinals throw a wrench into the Pirates' plans at a repeat? The rest of the National League is hoping so. We got some Cincinnati Reds fans tuned in and some Chicago Cubs fans tuned in, rooting for the St. Louis Cardinals. Leading off for the Cardinals is Don Buford. And today, because Rooker is so dominant versus lefties, and because they have slumped so poorly in the series, Lou Brock and Bate McBride, lefties, are on the bench trying to get a spark out of the bench players and something going on for the Cardinals. Buford, 33. And let's take a look at Buford leading off. Former Oriole Don Buford. 408 at-bats, 5 homers, and a .206 batting average for Baltimore in 1972. It's Homer, 1-13, and he misses it on a 20. That's a tough one right there, folks. Batting second, it's going to be Ted Sizemore here, not Mike Phillips. Ted Sizemore, 37 is a base hit. Ted Simmons, 2-5 is a 6-4-3 double play. Oh boy. Bottom of the first for the Pirates, it's Richie Hebner. 1-3, lines the third. You know, he's been in and out of the leadoff spot. And anytime the Pirates need to spark, we stick him back in the top spot. And then eventually what happens is they start to lose a couple games. Then we put Clemente in the top spot. And then we eventually flip back to Hebner. They just don't have a true leadoff hitter in this timeline. Roberto Clemente, 54, third X. I believe Hebner batted second most of the time for the 1971 season for the Pirates. Bouncer to third. Kennedy's there. He's a 2-34 at third base. It's a base hit. Al Oliver, 47, is a base hit dot off the Siebert card. Runners on the corners for Willie Stargell. 39's a K. And with 2 outs, it's Richie Zisk. 2-10. Grounds to short. Top of 2. It's Reggie Smith. 2-12 third. Sadakis. 3-5. Let's take a look at the Bill Sadakis card. He has been in a slump this year. Does not have a homer or 2. They were hoping he would crush lefty homers this year, and that would be what would take the Cardinals over the top of the likes of Candelaria and Rooker and Fred Norman and Don Gullett in their division. This is the third left-handed pitcher. Rooker pitched already, as did Candelaria. And finally, Bill Sedakis connects on a 3-5 to give the Cardinals a 1-0 lead. Joe Torre, 56 is a K. And Jim Hart, 37, double one at 10's a two-base hit. Mike Tyson, 57 is a K. Bottom two, it's Dave Parker. 1-3, grounds the third. Manny Sanguian, 66, Ks. Larry Milbourne, 410, catcher's X. Simmons, a 3-8 catcher. He makes the play. Top of the third. John Kennedy, 2-6, rolls a short. It's Buford, 1-9, walks. Sizemore, 42, pitcher B. And with 2 outs, Ted Simmons, 46, center. 1-0, bottom of the third. Ernie Stennett, 2-4, lines a second. Hebner, 37 is a walk. Roberto Clemente, 54, third X. Needs some defense here, 2E34. And they get a 5-4-3 double play. So far, so good for the Cardinals. 1-0 in the fourth. Reggie Smith, 2-9. Short. Bill Sedakis, 3-5, and finally, shame there's nobody on base. Sedakis has finally gotten hot. Maybe too little too late for this season, but he's gotten hot today, folks. For you all to see that wonderful card of 1973. 15 homers and just 235 at-bats. Joe Torre, 64, off of Rooker, homer 1 of 5, doubles, 2-base hit. Jim Hart, 1-8, flies to left. And Mike Tyson, 67, single 17, gets it. On the corners for Kennedy. A walk, bases loaded, 2 outs. This is where the Cardinals could really use a knockout punch here to get this series back to St. Louis. The pitch to Don Buford. 54, skies to right. 2-0, bottom of the fourth. It's Al Oliver. 1-9, lines the first. Stargell, 38, single 108, lines out on a 9. And Richie Zisk, 5'11", left X. 3-3, this is Buford. He's better defensively than Mr. Lubrock, but that's a base hit anyway. And the Cobra, Dave Parker. 69 off Siebert, triple 1 of 4, double is a double to center field. Zisk, he can still run, he's young. 11, 12, 13. But you got the -4 for Reggie Smith in center field. So they're going to let Sanguian swing away here. In the spirit of the game, I don't like to run off of -4, -5 arms. Figuring third base coaches would make them jam on the brakes. So second and third with 2 outs, down by 2. Manny Sanguian. 64 off Siebert is a sky to center field. Top of the fifth, it's Ted Sizemore. 67, single 1 of 17, lines out. Ted Simmons, 35, base hit. Reggie Smith, 2-6, single to left. Simmons holds the second base. And here he is, folks, looking for another big swing off of Jim Rooker. Here's the pitch to Bill Sedakis. 68 is ball 4. Well, none of those were near the strike zone. And Rooker's in trouble again. He's got the bases loaded with 1 out, and it's Joe Torre. They're going to play back, hope for a Torre double play. 39 is a 5-4-3 double play. Textbook by Rooker. And oh my, St. Louis, you've put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 men on. And all you have to show for it are a couple solo homers by Sedakis. 2-0 Cardinals, bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, bottom of the 5th. Larry Milbourne leads off for the Pirates. 46. Single 1 to 6. Gets it. B. Steeler. Stennett will hit and run. 4. Moves the runner up on a ground ball. Runner at second for Richie Hebner. 3-10. He walks. 2 on, 1 out for Roberto Clemente. 44, catcher's X. Simmons a 3-8 catcher. And it's a ground ball C. Ground ball C. My goodness. Well, that won't score the run though, right? Because we had the single. The runner moved to second base, a walk. But a ground ball C, they both move up, but they move up to second and third. So 2 men in scoring position for the dangerous Al Oliver. Let's take a look at Al. We have his 72 card. Very good defense in center field and first base. And he often plays both positions throughout the season. Hit .312 with 12 homers. Big moment here in a 2-0 game. Here's a pitch to Al Oliver. 2-7 for Al as a base hit in the center field. Hebner could tie this game. Now, he's a 13 runner, but smartly they put Smith in center field today instead of McBride, who's on the bench with a +2 arm. So Reggie Smith's got a -4 arm in center field, but they're going to run him anyway. And it's going to be tight here for Hebner. Hebner, it is a $13, $14, $15, but you get the -4 arm, makes it an 11, and he scores on an 11. Exactly what he needed. So Reggie Smith gave it all he could muster on the throw, but Hebner is just a hair too quick. Yep, 13 runner. Running with 2 outs is 15, -4 makes it an 11, and he got the 11 exactly. So that's a 2-out, 2-run, brutal single. And you're seeing the Cardinals putting more men on in the game, yet it's a tie. 2-2. Runner at first, Willie Stargell. 3-5 is a walk, and we're getting really dangerous here for the Cardinals. This is what the Pirates have been doing with this team, toying with them. First and second, 2 outs, and it'll be the dangerous Richie Zisk. 3-6, single 1 to 18, gets it, but it only loads the bases for the Cobra, Dave Parker. We have to take a look at the Cobra now. In 73, he hit .288 in his inaugural season. Maybe he was rushed to the bigs because of the tragedy of Clemente at the end of 72. Parker has a few years before he can hit left-handed pitching, so he's only a platoon player now. The bases are loaded 2 outs. It's 2-2, but this is such a huge batter. Oh my goodness. They might want to go to Steve Barber here. To get this guy either out of the game or out altogether. I think they're going to do it. The Cardinals are flipping the desperation switch here. They're going to pull Siebert after 4 2/3. It seems like every move they've made, sticking with Curtis, giving the hook to Spinks, neither move paid off, and they're going to try again with a hook on Siebert, who's okay as a starter. For Steve Barber, let's take a look at him. He was acquired from the Angels in 72, 4-4 with a 2.02 ERA, really good against lefties. And if you're the Pirates, do you take the young Parker out of the game? And I think they're going to do it. Yeah, they're going to follow the script. And Dave will leave because he didn't face a lot of lefties in 73, only 7%. So they'll take the Cobra out. So if they can get the pinch hitter out, that would put him in good shape. Batting for Dave Parker will be George Theodore. a surprise off-season free agent signee. Just a one-year pick of Theodore. He was a Met in 73 and kind of a flip of Parker. Hits lefties, not righties. Hit .259. And just a platoon player. And they won't stick with this guy long. So Barber comes on in the 5th. Really needs to get this final out. But it's going to have to be George Theodore versus Steve Barber. Here's the pitch to George Theodore. 4-11, it's right X. In right field, though, this is like an opera. It's Bill Sedakis, folks, the guy who has the 2 solo homers. Well, we have Hart at DH, so we had to put Sedakis somewhere, and today he happens to be right where this ball is going. Right field. 4-14 in right field with 2 outs. This is not going to end well, I fear. Maybe. It's 2-base error. At least it wasn't a double and all 3 runners scoring. A 2-base error on Sedakis in that particular situation. That is very tough. Tough to take that one on. So it's a 2-9. And that will score Oliver and Stargell. Ziska's at 3rd. Theodore at 2nd. And now in a 4-2 game, it's Sanguillen. 210, let's take a look at Manny Sanguillen's card of 1972. He hit .298 with 7 home runs. Not a lot of walks or doubles. Or the big kicker here, he's got a -3 arm, which is fantastic. The combination of defense and offense. In this particular card you don't normally get the great throwing arm. You do get the 300 average, comes up a few more times, particularly in 75, it's 328. But we wanted the good throwing, catching version of him. Also interesting, he doesn't have power versus lefties. So the only way he can get a homer is on his card on the roll of 210, which he just did. And it's homer 1-9, double the rest, and Manny Sanguillen with the killer 3-run bomb in the bottom of the 5th inning here to devastate the Cardinals. My goodness, folks, it is 7-2. And with 2 outs, Larry Milbourne. 37 is a single. Rennie Stennett. 2-7 pops to 3rd. The Pirates send 11 men to the plate, knocking out Siebert and taking a 5-run lead. And you're seeing why the Pirates are your world champs. It's hard to repeat, so teams are psyched to attempt it, I guess. And so the Pirates are equipped. They aren't quite as good as a year ago, but they did get some reinforcements. And they weren't particularly good in the regular season a year ago either, and only got hot when the playoffs started. So this could be a dangerous formula. It's up to the Cardinals to get off the mat, not fade away here, and not become, on the clock for the 2025 draft. My goodness. Bob Gibson's waiting in the wings to start Game 6 if there is one. That's how desperate these Cardinals are. Anyway, top of the 6th. Jim Rooker has escaped a few jams, trying to keep it going. It's Jim Hart. 56 is a K. Mike Tyson, 1-8 is a single. John Kennedy, 4-11. Left X, out in left field, is the new left fielder Theodore, who's a 3-5. He makes the catch. And with 2 outs, we go back up top to Buford. Had he hit that homer in the first inning, maybe the momentum would have been different, but he didn't. So Buford, well, look at this, 3-2. You saw the card earlier. Rolled a 3-3 earlier and missed a homer 13 chance. It's automatic on 3-2. So we knew Buford was going to be special today in some form. Now he is. And now we got a ball game. It's a 2-out, 2-run homer for Don Buford. A surprise member of the team. He really was only brought in. He's really awful for the Orioles. They didn't want him anymore. But he's only here really to be defense for Brock. But today he actually got the starting gig. And it's paid off, at least in that at bat. 7-4. 2 outs. Ted Sizemore. 42, a comebacker to the mound. 7-4 game. Steve Barber will still pitch after even failing it in the 5th. The Pirates still do have a lot of lefties in this lineup, which makes Barber somewhat effective. It'll be Richie Hebner. 63, short X. Tyson's a 340. Makes the play. Clemente, 2-7, base hit. Al Oliver, 312. There's the Lomax. Then there's a break for the Cardinals. 7-4 into the 7th we go. Rooker's a starter 8. Is there any defense that could help Mr. Rooker? No. They'll leave it alone. It'll be Ted Simmons. 1-6 for Simmons is Homer 1-14, double the rest, and it's gone. And Ted Simmons makes it 7-5, and here come your Cardinals. Remember, they were down 9-2 in Game 4 and made it interesting in the 9th. So even though 7-2, they're fighting, folks. I tell you, they got to fight for everything in St. Louis. It's Reggie Smith. 64 off the Rooker card. Homer, 1-5, double. It is gone! Reggie Smith solo shot. It's 7-6. And that'll do it. He's not going to face Sadakis a third time. And Pirates are going to need some relief help to finish this one. 5 homers by the Cardinals, probably a season high, and yet they still trail because the Pirates did all their damage in one huge inning. 7-6. The Pirates would love to go to Justy, but not for 2 innings maybe, but not for 3 innings. They'll go to Randy Moffett. Signed away from the San Francisco Giants with a 73 card, a 2.43 ERA in 100 innings. Moffett is the most dependable guy after Hernandez and Justy in the pen. Comes on in the 7th. And he'll face Bill Sadakis, looking for his 3rd homer of the day, which would tie this. Here's the pitch. 2-3, skies the center. Joe Torre, 64, short X. That's 6-4 roll. If Rooker was still in there, it's another home run. But 6-4 off Moffett is short X, and that is Milbourne, a 3.38, and he makes the play. And with 2 outs, it's Jim Hart. 39, rolls to short. So Moffett gets through the 7th. 7-6. Stretch time here in Pittsburgh. We've done something completely different with our stretch time background selection today. First time on the channel. We went with a movie soundtrack, folks. Get you into the mood. From 1970, The Amazing 5 Easy Pieces soundtrack, starring Jack Nicholson, Karen Black. Cinema at its finest, with country songs by Tammy Wynette, and of course the classic pieces, the easy pieces, of course, by Chopin and Bach. Wonderful stuff here, of course, and Mozart. This is, of course, Prelude 4. May as well get this from the beginning.
Would you play for me?
Here we go. And we'll take you into the bottom of the 7th with some Chopin here. Bottom of the 7th. It's Pop Stargell. He walks. Zisk. Sky's the center. Theodore. Walks. Sanguin. 6-4-3. Double play. 8th inning. And the Pirates are going to go to Dave Justy for 2 innings. It'll be Lou Brock pinch hitting. Sky's the center. John Kennedy, catcher's card. 1-11 makes the play. Batting for Buford, Bate McBride. 1-7, rolls to third. All right, Barber's gone after 2 1/3. And Al Rabowski will come on in the 8th. Trying to keep this within reach. Larry Milbourne. Single 1-3, lines out. Rennie Stennett, 2-4, rolls to third. And Hebner, 2-2, Lomax. Top of the 9th, 7-6. My oh my. Prelude 4. Wonderful. All right. Yeah, that's Susan Anspach and Jack Nicholson. Wonderful stuff. Okay. Back to the game. Now we're in the 9th inning, and Dave Justy needs 3 more outs for a 4-1 series win. This is very important to the Pirates. This is the moment where they say, last year we needed a lot of luck and a lot of breaks just to get to the playoffs. Then they went on the run. This year they want to make it easier for themselves. Get the Cardinals out of the equation. Just put a big X in them. And then deal with the Reds and the Cubs and the rest of the National League, including the Mets and Giants. Big inning here. It's a 1-run game. Justy needs 3 outs. It isn't going to be easy here. Oh, by the way, for Brock and McBride will come in for the DH and Buford, and then Tyson goes. Sadakis goes into the infield to play third base. Everybody moving over third to short and from short to second. Okay, 9th inning. Justy. It's Sizemore, Simmons, Smith, Sadakis. Mike Phillips is available on the bench, but frankly, Justy dominates lefties, and that is not good at all, as the Cardinals have all these switch hitters. So leading off in the 9th, Ted Sizemore really could use an on base. Let's look at these guys. That's how important the series is. We gotta look at these guys now. Ted Sizemore in 72, hit 264, coming over from the Dodgers. And here's the pitch to Ted Sizemore. 112, fouls to the catcher. Let's look at Ted Simmons, one of the players. They improved to his 1975 card when he had his best batting average ever. I think he just missed the batting title by a point. 332 with 18 homers, 63 walks. Amazing year for Simmons. Didn't help the Cardinals then, is not really helping them now in the one-loss department, which is a real shame. But here is the pitch to Ted Simmons. 68 off of Justy is a K. And with 2 outs, here is the guy, Reggie Smith. He won game 1 single-handedly with 2 3-run homers. He's the team MVP this year, unequivocally. And he's got a homer in this game. And this card, amazingly, it's still a Red Sox card in 73 with 21 homers and a 303 average. Still a 3 in center. Well, it used to be a 2 in center field with a very high E rating. Now he's a 3, but he's only an E8 with a -4 arm. He does play first base on occasion. This is the at-bat right here, folks. Dave Justy, Reggie Smith. Here is the pitch. 38 for Reggie Smith is a slow roll to first base, and Dave Justy magic continues. His second save of the series. He's faced 12 batters and gotten all of them out. This guy's your Pirate story. As horrible as Ramon Hernandez has pitched. And you got to remember, Hernandez and Justy's ERAs. Hernandez 167 on his Strat card. Justy 192. But it has been incredibly divergent. Hernandez ERA over 10. Justy pitching as good or better than his card. And he's just pitched the Pirates to a 4-1 series win over the Cardinals. We'll take this right to the end here, folks. To the post-game box. And then another look at the standings. This is not good news for the National League. Dave Justy struck out a guy in 2 innings for a 2-inning save. Moffitt came in after the homers, didn't allow a thing. It seems like when the Pirates make a pitching move, it's perfect. When the Cardinals tried either leaving a guy in or making a move, it blew up on them. It's just tough breaks. Rooker did enough to get a win. Very ugly line for Jim Rooker. 12 hits and 6 runs. And the long ball was responsible for all 6 of those, of course. 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. Rabowski was perfect in an 8th. Barber, that was the big moment here. He could have held the fort, and he crumbled. He came on here, faced Theodore, and then he gave up 3 hits and 3 runs with, frankly, you have a 2-base error on Sadakis, so he gets off the hook on that regard. He gives up 3 hits and 3 unearned runs, and then 1 more hit. Siebert does take the loss, as he gave up 6 hits and 4 runs. And in the case of Siebert, only 2 of those runs were earned. Really, the 2-run single here, and then you catch this fly ball, this inning's over. But instead it leads to 5 unearned runs. That is just really heartbreaking for the Cardinals. So the Pirates, 1019, 0108, 710, 612, 3452, 5234. The Cardinals reached base 15 times, as did the Pirates. And it was a 1-run finish. Game 5 in the books. You know, folks, the Pirates had the best record in the major leagues in 1972. There was a shortened season because of a work stoppage, so they only won 96 games, but they only played like 152, 154 games that year. And a very talented Cincinnati Red team upset them in the National League Championship Series. Otherwise, it would have been A's and Pirates, who never really faced each other in a World Series, which would have been interesting to see. Let's start with the Cardinals. They're 5-12 now, hitting .245 with a .462 ERA. Just, yeah. Bob Gibson 1-4. His ERA is bad. 26 runs in 39 innings. Don't really want to compute that. Sadakis 2 home runs brings him up to 5. Reggie Smith has 5 and 14 RBI and is 25 for 68. Now the Pirates, 12-9. They're hitting .291, but the pitching's not been good. .428 ERA. Frankly, the whole division is not pitching very well. The Cubs, Reds, and Pirates. Don't know how that will play out once the playoffs start. But the 12-9 Pirates, Justy has 4 saves. He's only given up 3 runs in 9 innings. It happened early in the season. And again, here's Ramon Hernandez. 1-2, 14 runs in 11 1/3 innings. 14 divided by 11.3. He's got an 11.15 earned run average, Ramon Hernandez. Jim Rooker, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes pitchers kind of step in it a little bit. They get wins when they get plenty of support. Jim Rooker moved into the top spot of the rotation when the Pirates did not renew the contract of Steve Blass. So Rooker can pitch on 3 days rest, as does Moose. They're the only guys who can. Basically, John Candelaria came aboard and Steve Blass left. Jim Rooker is 6-0. Leads the National League in wins through 21 games. He's won 6 of the 12 Pirate games. But he's been good. Hasn't been fantastic pitching, as you saw. I'll hit this earn run. We'll hit this again. 21 times 9 divided by 49. He's got a 386 earned run average and a 6-0 record. So fortune follows Jim Rooker and the Pirates. And here we are in this division again. It's up for grabs. The Pirates and the Cubs are within a half game of each other. Reds still have to play. Reds are the team that need to put the foot pedal to the metal as well. Very well conceivably that all three of these teams make the playoffs. And they have to hope that everybody in the East fades. And they are under 500. And everybody in the West fades as they are under 500. So that's what the Cubs, Reds, and Pirates have to hope for. But break up your Pittsburgh Pirates beating the Cardinals 4-1. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.